Good morning. Our Helene Recovery Center has now been open and is actually called the Helene Resource Center, has now been open for a week and we have been pleased to see so many of you come visit us. Here you will find representations from FEMA, U.S. Small Business Administration, one-on-one Helene recovery assistance with the North Carolina Disaster Case Management, information on no-cost projects that can make your property more resilient, known as a hazard mitigation grant program, and more. The center is open at 94 Cox Avenue in downtown Asheville. You can park for free across the street, and free nearby transit is available through ART. The center is open Monday through Friday, with the exception of this Friday, which the county is closed for their holiday weekend. The center is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No appointment or income information is required. While the deadline to apply for FEMA or disaster unemployment assistance has passed, we encourage you to stay in communication with FEMA or the state and provide any necessary documents. If you have questions about your unemployment claim, call the hotline at 919-629-3857. If you recently applied for FEMA assistance, your request is being reviewed to determine if an inspection is needed. FEMA may also contact you with a request for more information. While the initial application period for Helene disaster assistance has closed, FEMA continues to accept late appointment applications for 60 days following the end of the application period. For FEMA to consider your late application, you will need to explain the reason for the delay by phone, in person, or in writing. FEMA does not require you to submit supporting documentation for your reasoning. FEMA will review late applications on a case-by-case basis. Disaster assistance deadline coming up include April 27th, SBA physical damage loan deadline, May 2nd, agriculture crop loss program, and June 30th, SBA economic injury application deadline. Find all the application information for these at buncombeready.org. If your private road or bridges was damaged during Tropical Storm Helene, there's a state program that might be able to help. The North Carolina Private Road and Bridge Program was created to support property owners across Western North Carolina who were impacted by Helene. The program focuses first on fixing private roads and bridges that are the only way emergency services can reach homes where the property owner lives for more than 6 months of the year. It also prioritizes repairs where multiple homes, businesses, or recreation areas rely on the road or bridge. To get started or learn more, visit buncombeready.org. So far, more than 2,100 people have submitted online forms, and the program is working on contracts with 10 consultant teams to help process requests and provide the engineering and permitting support needed for repair or replacement. They've also been partnering with volunteer organizations that are already helping with road and bridge repairs. We have launched a quick survey that will help to answer an important question. How can our community recover stronger, better, more resilient, while lifting every voice? Before the storm devastated many parts of our community, Buncombe County commissioners were working on to shape strategic priorities for the next 5-year strategic plan. In the wake of Helene, those priorities may look different. As we develop the long-term strategy for recovery, we want to ensure every voice is at the table. Share your needs and priorities by filling out a quick survey at engage.buncombecounty.org/envision Buncombe County, or by scanning the QR code on the screen. It takes about 5 minutes to complete it. As Buncombe County Commissioners revisit strategic priorities post-Helene and we craft for long-term recovery, we'll use your input to shape the 2030 strategic plan and develop recovery projects that reflect your needs and values. While public right-of-way debris removal has ended as of April 1st, contractors continue to pick up debris throughout the county based on spots identified by county staff. Please do not bring additional debris to the right-of-way. And I'll say that again because I'm still seeing debris as I drive around the county, new debris showing up on the right-of-way. So please do not bring additional debris to the right-of-way. If you have applied for private property debris removal, make sure you have submitted all the required paperwork as soon as possible. If you have questions about your application status, please call the One Buncombe call center at 828-250-6100. If you have applied for private property debris removal and have questions or concerns about the work done on your property, please email the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers at the email we are adding to the chat. Both the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and Tetra Tech will provide more details. Other important Helene recovery programs you should sign up for. 1, Agriculture Crop Loss Program. If you are an agriculture producer who lost crops due to Helene or other natural disasters in 2024, a new funding program can help with monetary losses. The Agriculture Crop Loss Program is live now and is accepting applications through May 2nd. If you have questions or need assistance applying, reach out to Buncombe County Corporate Extension at 828-255-5522. North Carolina Disaster Case Management Program. Get paired with the disaster case manager who will help you find support from over 500 resources and partners with you on your Helene recovery journey. Call 844-746-2326 or fill out the intake survey at buncombeready.org. And lastly, the county community care station at Owen Pool remains open with showers, laundry service, water, and bathrooms from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekdays and 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekends. And now we will hear from George Menges.
We're actually going to hear from Bobby Petty with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, who have been working to collect what basically equates to the amount of debris that would be a 56-foot pile on top of Charlotte Motor Speedway, just to give you an idea of how much debris that is. So, Bobby, we'll turn it over to you.
Bobby, can you hear remote me? Over.
We got you, Bobby.
Okay, I apologize to all that I'm on the road right now, but I want to give you a quick update from the Army Corps of Engineers. Working under the FEMA directive in terms of the assignment, the mission assignment, as well as the funding. We're at 202 days on the mission recovery. That includes about 2,500 soldiers, DoD civilians, and contractors in 16 counties that are continuing on with the cleanup mission. So right now, total for the state, we're at 4.47 million cubic yards. Yesterday alone, we cleaned up 60,000 cubic yards. That's equivalent to, imagine, 55-gallon drum. 220,000 55-gallon drums in one day. I mean, that's the level of work we're doing in all the different counties. For Buncombe County alone, we're looking at 1.7 million cubic yards total removed, and that does not include the assessment for Asheville, which includes another 641,000 cubic yards, so 2.3 million cubic yards total. As you know, June 30th is the anticipated date for all the personal property parcels for cleanup. Now, totals, not including Tetra Tech's, are 2,004 parcels that are contracted, with 1,730 of those complete. Those numbers are adjusting, of course, as we get new assignments that may come in, but we are endeavoring to get more and more of that done as the days go on. I know as we get those more assignments, we'll be able to then put on more people, more crews to be able to work that. Working other disasters in the past, normally what happens with this is you'll have that immediate need, then you'll have that ramp up, and then boom, it'll take off. So, like for example, yesterday, may not sound like much, but 30 parcels, 30 houses were cleared out. We expect that number to dramatically increase in the weeks ahead as we get those final assignments on that. For right away, that is done too. We have some hot spots that are still out there, but right now we're looking at 929,000 cubic yards, with an estimated 950,000 for the county. And then for the city, we're looking at 409,631 estimated originally. And that is complete. We actually completed that, except for the hotspots that we're still out there doing. Thanks for the shout out on that. We finished the closeout on that actually was April 1st. But again, of course, we're still doing hotspots, trying to get all those areas cleared out as best we can, particularly in the city of Asheville. I think we're at 65% complete, if my numbers are correct here. Lastly, in terms of waterway, we're looking at, for the county, 770,000 removed of the original estimated 616,000. And then for the city, 231,000 of 484,000 cubic yards. Now, one thing to keep in mind with those, when those numbers originally were estimated back in October, so there were many cases where those roads, the roads were inaccessible. Hard to know exactly what those original estimate numbers could be. I think the total for the state was 10 million. So, as we've gotten in those areas, been able to get in those areas, access roads, look at waterways, whatnot, those numbers will, at 10 million estimate, will fluctuate. We don't know where that number is. I want to say, well, again, thus far we were at 4.7 million total, or 4.47 million total. So where that number goes, we're not quite sure, but the estimated that waterway mission will continue on at least through the end of June. I'm sorry, end of May. We'll see if it goes on beyond that. But based on the numbers we have coming in and the work we still have to do, that number will probably go up and down. I want to say the only other thing I want to add is there's been some online chatter that I've seen anyway regarding our access, our work that's needing to be done in the riverways themselves. I want to say that we're not doing anything in a haphazard fashion where everything is very methodical, follows a plan engineered to reduce the amount of disruption in those areas. Yesterday morning, we had a meeting with FEMA, USACE, North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission, and a whole bunch of other agencies. And what the decision was is for us, the Army Corps, to share our data where we're going to be in those waterways at least a week in advance, so that we can get any advice or information from people on the ground there to tell us what ecosystems, what animals might be in those areas. And that goes beyond what we initially have assessed, working with FEMA and working with other wildlife groups in our own biology to try to figure out what's there. And in terms of, I guess, operating in the waterways themselves, like in Transylvania County and other counties, the alternative is that in order to access many of those areas, we would have to, because again, access is an issue, we'd have to cut a path down to those specific areas that need to be cleared in the waterway. And that is kind of less desirable because it would take decades for that growth to come back, right? So the equipment we're operating in has the smallest amount of footprint we could possibly have, and it does use, many of them, especially in the waterways, have fluids that will biodegrade very quickly in 60 days or less, as opposed to decades like with traditional hydraulic fluid, for example. So I just want to say that overall, every decision that we make is engineered to minimize that disruption in those areas, and we're working as best we can to, with the utmost respect for the environment, and not only for the environment, of course, but for the people to bounce back after Hurricane Helene's storm damage. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. And I think he's going to stand by. I know he's working from a location, but I think he's going to stand by in case we have additional questions from the media at the end.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Bobby. Keeping
ma'am.
on our debris theme, we have Tracy Hagler. She is with Tetra Tech. Tetra Tech manages our private property debris removal program, and she's going to share some updates there.
Good morning. Again, my name is Tracy Hagler. I'm a program manager with Tetra Tech. Tetra Tech, as noted earlier, has been a contractor here in Buncombe County since November. We've been assisting the county with several of their disaster recovery efforts, one of them being the Private Property Debris Removal Program, or PPDR. That's exactly what it sounds like as background. It's an opportunity for residential and commercial property owners in unincorporated Buncombe County, the city of Asheville, and the town of Black Mountain to have debris removed from their property at no cost to them. The program also covers demolition of eligible unsafe structure. I'm pleased to announce that we received over 5,000 applications since the program began and yesterday's application deadline. This represents a tremendous opportunity to help as many properties as possible. So what will happen next? Over the next few weeks, if you have applied to the program, you'll see the following if you haven't already. Our team will continue to process those applications and gather the required information for verification. We'll perform inspections on your property to document the debris and any hazards. Once that's completed, the Army Corps will work with their contractor to schedule the debris removal. This may happen in multiple parts. Don't be alarmed if you see some of the debris being removed or moved. Everything will get picked up at some point. If you applied to the program and you haven't had your debris cleared yet, the best way to expedite that process for you and for us is to keep an eye on any calls, texts, or emails that you may get from our team. They are trying to collect the required missing information to get your application processed. For status updates on your application, please reach out to the call center, as County Manager Pender mentioned earlier. That phone number is 828-250-6100, option 2. That center is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Lastly, I'd like to make a note that the county's Emergency Watershed Protection Program is open still. If you have any property damage of waterways that could be causing a threat to a structure, please reach out to the county's website to log that damage or email Helene, EWP, that's Helene, EWP, at buncombecounty.org.
And we've got Asheville City Manager Deborah Campbell for an update on the city side, and then we'll take questions from the media following that.
Thank you, Lillian, and good morning. My name is Deborah Campbell, and I serve as the City Manager of Asheville. As usual, I want to thank each of you for your continued support as we recover from Tropical Storm Helene. Today, we have just a few brief updates on storm debris removal within the city limits and status of the CDBG-DR action plan. But first, our Communication and Public Engagement Director, Dowell Hitch, will share information about city holiday closures this Friday. Dowell.
Thank you, Deborah. Again, my name's Dowell Hitch, and I serve as the Communication and Public Engagement Director for the City of Asheville. This Friday, Asheville City Government offices and community centers will be closed. And that again is this Friday, April 18th. Additionally, Asheville Parks and Recreation Community Center buildings will be closed this Sunday, April 20th. Water resources staff will be available for water-related emergencies 24 hours a day, as usual, over the holiday weekend. Customers can call the customer service line at 828-251-1122 to report water-related emergencies, breaks, and no water calls. And in closing, just would like to remind everybody that our public safety services, including police, fire, and water production, will operate according to a normal schedule, and that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'll now turn it back over to City Manager Campbell.
And now, following the theme of updates on storm debris removal, as of today, over 660,000 cubic yards of storm debris have been collected across Asheville, and 231,305 cubic yards have been collected from the waterways within the city limits. Back in March, our sanitation crews, who know our city streets better than anyone, took the lead in documenting all remaining debris piles located within the right-of-way. That information was shared with the Army Corps of Engineers, who is now in the process of collecting all those identified piles. If you are in the city limits of Asheville and had your storm debris placed at the curb by the March 1st deadline, your debris will be picked up. Contractors estimate completion of the punch list during the first week of May, but will continue their work until the list has been completed. Storm debris removal is still ongoing in other areas, including, as you've heard, waterway debris removal and the private property debris removal program. These efforts are critical for public safety and long-term community recovery. In the next couple of weeks, towing contractors will be removing vehicles that have been pulled from the waterways by debris contractors. These vehicles will be stored at a secure location, and attempts will be made to notify owners. The towing contractors will follow state and FEMA guidelines regarding notification, return, and proper disposal of vehicles. As a reminder, we kindly ask everyone in the community to follow our storm debris collection guidelines. Proper disposal of storm debris and other waste ensures recovery resources are used efficiently and helps maintain progress in the cleanup efforts. If you see illegal dumping, i.e. random trucks or cars dumping debris and garbage on vacant or developed lots, please report it through the Asheville app. We appreciate the community's patience during this cleanup. And now to transition into the CDBG-DR update. City Council approved the CDBG-DR action plan on April 8th. And immediately following that, the city staff promptly submitted the plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for their review. HUD now has 45 days to review, request changes, and hopefully approve the action plan. Once the action plan receives HUD approval, the city anticipates receiving a grant agreement this summer with implementation to begin in the fall of 2025 and winter of 2026. While we wait, the city continues to strategize how to activate these funds for the community's recovery. More details will be forthcoming about this initiative. For updates, please sign up for the recovery newsletter on ashevillerecovers.org. In closing, I'd like to extend my continued thanks to the mayor and city council, all of our dedicated City of Asheville employees, our other partners in the county, state, and federal government, as well as our private and nonprofit partners who continue to work tirelessly on recovery efforts. I'll now turn it back over to Lillian.
Thank you. I don't think we have a whole lot of members of the media on the Zoom link, but take a second to see if anyone has any questions there. Of course, we want folks to stay informed about Helene recovery. So bookmark engage.buncombecounty.org/Buncombe Recovers. Sign up for those phone alerts by texting BC Alert to 99411, or just give us a call at the One Buncombe call center at 828-250-6100. Waiting another minute. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our next briefing will be next Wednesday at 11 a.m., and we'll look forward to seeing you then.